You know what amazes me is how the average person doesn't have an ounce of street smarts. Not a lick. The average person don't got an ounce of street smarts. And it's funny because one thing I do when I go out in public is I people watch. It's fascinating for me. It really is. Just to sit back and just watch people sometimes when you're in public. You'll be amazed on how the average person is so unaware of their surroundings. Most of their time and energy is in their phones. If you don't believe me, just people watch. Just go somewhere and just observe people. Watch how, on average, most people are either in their phones or overly focused on talking to one person. You don't see people really observing their surroundings no more. Everybody's just living in their own bubble, thinking that they're just safe. You gotta understand something. This is why I respect the street dude. I don't respect their ignorance. I don't respect their recklessness. I don't respect them making stupid decisions. But out of all of that, I do respect their mindset when it comes to survival. You gotta understand something. A street dude, he's not gonna make it home if he don't got no street smarts. If he don't know how to make it home in one piece. And at the end of the day, that skill translates to the real world. You don't gotta be from the hood to have street smarts. And you don't gotta be from the hood to only have street smarts. Most people don't know how to be aware of their surroundings. They don't know how to read body language. They don't know how to be able to be observant on who's around, who's walking in, who's looking at them. Everybody's just in their phone. Overly obsessed with their phone. Overly obsessed with what they gotta get done in that moment. If somebody were to go to a bank, they go in there for a simple transaction. They're going to be waiting in line. More times out of 10, they're going to be on their phone while they're waiting, with their back to the door. And most people, they're not going to look around and observe their surroundings, observe people. They're not going to observe the security guard by the door. They're not going to observe the clerks. A lot of times people are just focused on what they got to get done in that bank. Living in la la land, just blank, just mentally blank, just thinking about them and what they got to get done that day. And they're not thinking about if somebody came in here with all black on, with a big bag and a shotgun and just rampaged the whole bank. You wouldn't even see it coming because you're not even thinking. You're not even aware of just observing your surroundings and looking at who's outside, who's pulling up, who's walking through the door. Everybody's just blanked out. No kind of sense of awareness of what's going on around me. Because I go out places sometimes and I be like, if I was a bad person and I had bad intentions, I can just walk up on this person right here and just run their pockets if I wanted to. And they wouldn't even see me coming. They are so preoccupied with their phone, the person they talking to right next to them, and what they got to get done that day. If I was a bad person with bad intentions, I could get out my car, throw a ski mask on, and run their pockets, and they wouldn't even see me coming. Because they not keeping their head on a swivel. They not watching their surroundings. They don't have a sense of reading body language. They don't have no antennas. They walking around with no antennas. Most people don't have no antennas. They lack street smarts. They lack awareness. And it's not about being paranoid. I'm not saying being paranoid. I'm not saying just be walking around paranoid. But what I am saying is, you can't just be walking around like you are untouchable. Like ain't nobody watching you. Like people ain't scheming out here. Like people ain't plotting out here. You got to protect yourself and your family. How you gonna do that with your face in your phone 24/7? How you gonna do that with just thinking about yourself 24/7? You gotta think about everybody. You gotta think about where the nearest exit door is at. If something were to happen, how would I get out of here in one piece with my family? If I had a family with me, how would I get up out of here? A lot of y'all don't think like that, and it's important to think like that because you gotta have street smarts. This world is getting crazier by the day. You can't afford to be out here being just a duck, just floating around in the pond like you ain't gonna get ate by nobody. You can't be out here moving sweet. You gotta be aware. You gotta know your surroundings, and you gotta be able to read situations. Cause like the street dude, that's how you make it home. And I know y'all want to make it home every day. I do. So when I'm out in public, I'm not paranoid. I'm not mean mugging nobody. Nah, I ain't no tough dude. I'm a man. As a man, I'm gonna be a man if it came down to it. But I'm not trying to attract no bad situation. But I'm observing my surroundings. I'm making sure if I'm out with my family, I'm making sure I'm protecting my family just by being aware, keeping my antennas up. I'm not in my phone. I only use my phone when I gotta call somebody or I gotta text somebody. But I'm waiting somewhere. I'm just standing in line somewhere. I'm observing. I'm watching. I'm peeping. I'm reading body language. Because I gotta understand this is survival. Regardless of how you wanna look at it. No matter where you from in the world, you got to be on point. You got to have the mindset of a street dude when it comes to survival. You got to make it home. So if you don't take nothing from this video, just take this. You got to understand every day we at war. There is somebody out there that want what you have. And you got to think like a hunter, a protector. You got to protect what you got, and you got to get home. You got to make it home in one piece. You keep that mindset, you develop that mindset, you're going to live a long life. At least you're going to live a long life in terms of something not happening to you. External. But in general, walking around here on your phone, in your phone, living in la la land thinking you untouchable, shit. Good luck. And I pray everybody don't ever have to go through a situation where they got to have their life on the line like that, where they got to be that on point. But you got to think like that. In the world we live in today, you have to think like a street dude when it comes to survival. It is what it is, man. I'm out.